Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Carpo here. I decided to just kind of make this video off the cuff, I think is the term. I just had my phone in my hand and I was just marveling at technology, and I thought I would share a few thoughts originally about technology itself, but mostly pertaining to audio and how it's helped us musicians over the years. And the amazing, I mean, there have been quality speakers and headphones for decades, but some of the stuff coming into the arena today as far as producing the sound has allowed a lot of us who could never afford it to produce our own music. And so I'm going to briefly touch on the goods and bads about that. Honestly, the goods, I would say that a lot of folks say, well, now anybody can be a musician and anybody can upload their music to the internet, so it's flooded with garbage. And I would say, I bet the ratio is about the same. Honestly, when everything was produced and all the record labels, had to, pick and choose who they wanted to put music out for, back in those days there was just as much garbage music. There's always been trash on the side that nobody wanted to listen to, or that I would think is just, garbage. So really, it's the paradox of choice. There are too many bands out there, but that's not a good or a bad thing. It is what it is. The positive side to it is that the reason why it's happening is because of the internet. That everyone who wants to upload music to the internet can, but not just that, they can produce it. When I was a kid, if you wanted to record music, you had a little tape player. And I was always jealous of the guys who had the 8-tracks. And an 8-track is an amazing machine, where you can, even a 4-track recorder, where you could put all 4 tracks onto tape and dub over things. This thing I use right here, which I've been using to record some of my sound effects, for example, this is a Boss 1180, BR1180. Has a hard disk built into it, CD burner built into it. It's got 8 full tracks, overdubbing, sampling, mastering, everything you could possibly want. Tons of inputs in the back. I got this for my oldest son, I don't know, years ago. It was broken for a while, we had to get a new adapter. But it's an amazing machine that allows you to record digitally. Digital, for you kids that are grown up today, or anybody who's under the age of 30, that's probably been all you've ever known, that digital format. I was thinking about how before even after tapes, I had this monstrous hard drive. And now I've got, all of my, entire, discographies of all my favorite bands on these little tiny SD cards, mini SD cards. And it's just revolutionized everything. But, even the simplest thing that we take for granted here, because I had my phone earlier, and there's nothing more frustrating than dealing with USB plugs. So I ordered some of these a while back. They're magnetic, and they just click right on. And then I have this remote charger my wife bought me for Christmas. It's one of those just extra batter packs. It'll charge it like 5 times. Has 2 plugs, little built-in light and everything. We take things like this for granted. And this little phone right here, just not only does it contain access to the entire world of knowledge, but it also contains all of my, audio information, all of my favorite songs, access to my favorite playlists, and everything's just, it really blows my mind how far we've come. And that's for the consumer end. The consumer is able to pick and choose and listen to anything they want. Years ago on YouTube, if you wanted to listen to audio, you had to either sit through tons of commercials, or, well, ad blocker really helps that. But, or you would have to see some songs up on YouTube, and then it would get a copyright strike and get taken down. Finally, bands gave in. And it's a whole new world of music. You can't, copywriting songs only goes so far. People are going to share them. The world of Napster, for those of you who remember it, probably most of you, it was an interesting time. It was like free music. Oh my God! But you'd let your tunes download. It'd take like a whole day to download an album. But now something as simple as this. I've got these headphones right here. And instead of hooking them directly into my computer or my phone or whatever, I bought this simple little like $10 Bluetooth device, which can pair with two different devices. So if I'm listening to my computer music through this, walking around the house, then my phone rings, or I can hear it, it'll override the other signal. And to most people, it's just like, well, yeah, they've had stuff like that forever. I'm always a slight step behind in technology, because for me, I can still marvel at the things that other people are like, oh, that's been around for years, because I don't have the money to go out and spend on the very latest and greatest. But it's more than that. I only really buy the things that I can actually use, and things that work well. So a lot of the technology today, a lot of the apps on phones, are way more than a person will ever need. For example, the thing I showed you, the little digital recording studio here, I've got 100 songs on there that we've recorded, random things that I've done with my friends and my kids over the years, and it's all preserved on this little hard drive here. And I don't know, there are so many settings and switches and buttons and shit on here that I don't even know how to use probably even a tenth of it. Like, all the mastering buttons, I'd have to go through the huge manual to even know how to work that. So for me, for example, once I get a song I like and I want to record, rather than mastering it and putting it on the CD and everything, I just put an output to something else and record it through my other favorite device, this little Tascam microphone that I use for podcasts. And this thing, just pop a little SD card in and record literally hundreds of hours of audio without having to get a new card. And that wasn't possible with tapes. You'd spend $3 on a little tape recorder, mini tapes to record, and you'd end up using an hour up, and then you'll have to buy another $3 tape. Cost-effective wise, all the awesome new technology is dirt cheap compared to what it used to cost to record when you consider time. Photographs are the same way. When I would take my camera with me, I'd have a bunch of rolls of 110 or 35mm film, and I'd pop that in there, and you have 24 shots, which means you're going to probably ruin at least 4 of them, and maybe get 20 good shots, if you're lucky. So you would really be careful which pictures you took. And it was the same way with audio. You would make sure that you only recorded things when you were sure you wanted to record them. And I believe it's kind of the same way with music today for a lot of musicians. You'll record a quick, easy, cheesy song because you can, and it doesn't take up any space or really cost anything. So that's kind of the downside, because we end up with hard drives with hundreds of gigabytes full of, if not terabytes, of just videos, information, pictures that we took over the years. And it's a huge cloud of information, jumbled information. It took me years to actually start separating my pictures as I upload them, and to label each one, and to make sure that I'm as cautious taking pictures and recording stuff and making videos, as I can be, so I'm not just going through going, oh my god, why did I record this tree blowing in the wind randomly one day, But, yeah, we do take pictures of unnecessary things. I've learned not to live vicariously through my lens, especially at concerts, trying to take a picture of the stage or film. I just put my camera away at shows now. It's just not worth it. Sometimes, if the angles are right, I'll take a few pictures, but I really learned kind of to be in the moment. But when I record everything for YouTube, having these things they're awesome tools. And I don't know, I guess I've just been thinking about it in the last couple days, because I came out here and I hooked up my little voice recorder here, the microphone input from my little 8-track here into that, and then I plugged in the microphone, drum machine, keyboard, and bass, and I just made a bunch of little, basically sound effects, between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, background music, things like that I can add into my videos, or in the future. I was telling my wife, I was like, shit, I could just do my own website with my own little tunes that kind of have a user-based thing where you can, pay $1 or whatever and use any of the stuff you want, as much of the stuff as you want. Because of the video I made the other day where I was talking about how everybody uses that same stupid frickin' flute music or ukulele shit. It's like, bleh. Every YouTube video, it's like, din, 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 din. It's like some sort of Hawaiian commercial or something. It's pretty annoying after a while. So I thought, why not have my own random effects that nobody else has, so they're not like these huge collections. I don't know. Just an idea. Probably never do it. So I just wanted to ramble about technology. In fact, this freaking camera I'm using right now, it's a Panasonic Lumix G3. And I've had this, I bought it I traded 2 ounces of weed for it, actually, years ago. It's probably more than I needed to pay, but I was growing it at the time. So I was like, whatever. It was $700, I think, when it came out. You can get one for a couple hundred now. So I've had it for probably 6 years now. And about a year ago, the body stopped working on it. And it has a detachable lens. It's a mirrorless camera. Micro Four Thirds mirrorless camera, digital camera, is what they call it. And so I kept the lens, and I found just a body for sale for $130, I think. So I had to buy a new one, but it was only $130. And that's the one that I'm using right now, and the one that I've been using for thousands, literally, of videos that I've made over the years, as well as pictures, 10,000 at least, I'm sure. And I think, it's amazing that it's built so well, that the technology's got to that point, but also that I can pop a little 128 gigabyte SD card into that puppy and never run out of space. I mean, I make long-ass videos for YouTube, and it'll be, a couple weeks before I even have to think about maybe transferring over a few of the videos or deleting some of them. And but I also love the old technology. I've got a high 8 camcorder back there that I use, a Sony Handycam. Then I've got a smaller mini DV. They're the digital tapes. I actually love those things, and the camcorders themselves are just so affordable now, and they're so high quality. I mean, the picture's phenomenal, the zooms are phenomenal, the night shot and the quality that you can get out of them is really good. But if you can afford to spend a lot of money, digital has surpassed pretty much anything at this point. So I don't consider myself, I guess, a tech nerd, but I guess I am, in a way. I'm always interested in gadgets and how they work, but I'm just not that computer savvy. But it's just not my specialty, like programs and shit like that. I'm just like, leave it to somebody else. I like the hardware. I like connecting cables. I like synthesizers and keyboards and guitars. And as a musician, it's always, all that shit's interested me. I played bass for years. When I was 14, I got a bass, and I figured, because my fingers were so big, I didn't think I could play guitar. Then a few years later, I got an acoustic guitar when I was tripping on acid, and we took the public transportation, the bus, over to like Oregon City, and I was tripping, and I walked into this like guitar store, this music store, and I saw this like sunburst red and gold guitar with these growing, it looked like, actually in retrospect, it was a hummingbird, I think, with what looked like morning glories or something on it. Anyway, I bought it right away for like $100 or something, and the action was horrible on it, and it wasn't that great, but it was more or less my first guitar, and learned to play guitar, got into this obsessed phase where I was recording all these things, but I had these crappy little tape players, and I could never afford anything nice, so it's good that that's changed. I just wish I still had the passion I had to play music as when I was young, because I was really into it. But anyhow, that's a different story altogether. I guess I could get into rambling about my past forever, but, reminiscing about what we didn't have, it really gives me gratitude for what we have now, I know a lot of people feel overwhelmed by the technology and where we're going, smart devices, things like this. I don't blame them. AI and the potential for a singularity, or where AI surpasses us, the dark side of technology, yeah, it's out there. But for the individual, we overlook so many things that are so much simplified by it, by these things. And yeah, even just being able to have affordable solar panels to put on my school bus, that was just something amazing that, like, oh wow, we can do that now. Solar panels used to cost a fortune. So I guess I'm just saying consider the positives of technology, and kind of just giving a fist bump to all the musicians out there for the access to all this shit to be able to record on now. It's pretty awesome. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all later, and have a wonderful day. Peace.